Tiffany Almeida with Pretty and Paper Crafts. Thank you for tuning in for my third and final video for the Versamark technique class. This is our last card. This is our fifth card. And what I wanted to show you is that you can emboss and Versamark your background, and then you use the negative space to actually put in the color so that where you embossed remains white, and then the rest of the color pops out. So I wanted to show you how I did this fun little background using Versamark and clear embossing powder. So the tools or the supplies that you're going to need is you're going to need your bubble over stamp set. We're going to be using the star circle stamp and the May Your Day bubble over with happiness stamp. So those are the only two stamps we need out of the set for this. You're going to, in your kit, it will include a Whisper White background for a base card. You're going to have a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock for your background piece. You're also going to have a Whisper White piece that we're going to do our stamping and sponging on. You'll have 3 bottles with 3 straws, and they're all different colors. They should be Pool Party, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pumpkin Pie. And then you'll have a piece of Whisper White in a thin banner style that we'll stamp on and glue to our card. So let's go ahead and emboss our piece of Whisper White. Now we're going to actually, I lied, we're going to use another stamp in our set. We're going to use our little bubbles. We need our bubbles to emboss. So let me get that out. And put that on a block, like so. And we need our Versamark ink. Okay, so what we're going to do is first I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and I'm going to just cover the paper, just rub the paper with the embossing buddy, and this is going to ensure that none of the embossing powder sticks to anything other than the Versamark ink. So once you've rubbed it with the embossing buddy, we can go ahead and stamp it with our Versamark ink. So we're just going to stamp these bubbles all over the page in no particular rhyme or reason, just everywhere. And we just want to make sure that we get the bubbles distributed all over our base. And it's clear, so it's hard to see, but if you tilt it, you can see the shine of where you've stamped. And I see a nice big empty space here, so I'm going to stamp that. Okay, once you've stamped it as many times as you like, make sure you put down a piece of scrap paper. This is to ensure that you can just scoop up the embossing powder, the excess embossing powder, and pour it right back into your container. So I've got my clear stamping emboss powder, and I'm just going to cover the entire sheet. You need to have it covered entirely so that you get all the bubbles that you stamped. And it does stick to your fingers. I'm just trying to make sure that there's no extra embossing powder, which I don't see any. Looks good. Trying to brush it off my hands. I put lotion on, which was a mistake, so now the embossing powder wants to stick to me. Okay. Just pouring the embossing powder back into the container. And now we can heat emboss our background. So I'm using my piercing tool just as my anchor so that I don't burn my fingers when I use my heat gun. So I'm just going to heat the embossed image until it becomes shiny. once you've got the ink that you want, you can actually kind of polish your bubbles and the ink will come off of the bubbles. So see how I did that? So it's kind of a cool effect. So once you've got the ink on there the way that you want, you move to the next color. I'm gonna move on to my pool party. And I've got my sponge dauber. Actually, this is actually just a sponge, not a sponge dauber. I've got ink on there, and then I'm just going to rub it across my page. And pool party's pretty light, so it takes a while to get the ink to spread, but you just work with it. You can do it as light or as dark as you want. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to do my last color, which is the lemon lime. The lemon lime twist. I'm just going to get some color. I'm just going to rub that right across. I just recently re-inked my lemon lime, and you can see it's really bright. Okay, so once I've got the color on there, then I'm just going to kind of go back over my bubbles and polish them to get the ink off of them so that they pop out real nicely. And there you go. So now I've got my background, and you can see how cool that is, that the bubbles kind of stick out from the ink and just makes a fun little background. And I like that you can keep, by embossing with the clear embossing powder, whatever your base color is, you'll keep that image, that color, and then you can go around that image and color it other ways. So I think that's really cool. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is actually sponge our bottles in the 3 different colors. So we'll go ahead and do lemon lime first because I already had lemon lime out and I have my sponge dauber nearby, or my sponge here. And what you're going to do is you're going to sponge from the bottom and work your way up. And you kind of want to stop as if the bottle weren't full all the way. Okay? And you just sponge it until, you know, it's dark enough that you like it, or even enough that you like it. I kind of bent my bottle. That should be good. And while I still have my ink out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the star image in the center of my bottle. So just find the center and stamp the lemon lime star in the center, and that's what it will look like. Okay, so now we're going to do, now we need to clean off the green. We need to clean off the green because we're going to use the other colors on the star stamp. All right, so let's go back to orange real quick and we'll sponge the orange on. So getting some orange on my ink pad, onto my dauber, and just coloring the bottle. Man, I'm bending my bottles. Be gentler than I'm doing. I keep bending the paper. Now I've got creases in my bottles. That doesn't look like a bottle when it's got creases. So don't do what I did. And then we're just stamping our star again. There's another one. And then the last one, of course, is in our pool party. So we need to clean our stamp off again and get our pool party out and color our bottle. Like so. Oh, I did it again. I bent my last bottle. I was destined to bend all 3 of them. I don't know what my deal is. Okay. And be prepared to get inky with this. It happens, especially with sponging. Seem to have your fingers a little bit more up in the ink this way. Okay, so you stamped your 3rd star. And now we're going to assemble our card. Oh, we actually have one more thing to stamp. So we just need to stamp our sentiment so we can take our scrap paper out. And I stamped the sentiment in basic black. So just getting my sentiment here. Get it good and inky. And we're just going to center it on our label. It's a little crooked. I'm going to flip it over and try again. 2nd time's a charm. See? Oh, I like that better. Okay. So then that really truly is the last of our stamping. So we'll go ahead and assemble our card. Nothing to it, right? Easy peasy. So we're going to glue our pumpkin pie piece down to our cardstock base. Like so. Okay. And then we have this background that we colored. We're going to glue that down. Like so. Center that. Okay. And then we're actually going to glue our sentiment down. And we're just going to line it up with the orange, where the orange ends, and glue it down. Okay? And then we're going to put some glue on the back of our bottles, and we're going to glue the straws to our bottles. Okay? So just put some, don't stick to each other. All right, so our orange straw goes with our orange bottle. Okay, and then I'm going to actually just put some more adhesive on here and just glue that bottle down like so. Okay, and then we've got, what's our next one? Green, okay. Green, we'll put our straw behind our green bottle. Okay, and we're going to tilt the green bottle the opposite way of the orange. And then we have our pool party, which is going to be our center bottle. Come on, I can't pick up the straw. Okay. And put that straw in the back. And we're actually going to put this one on with dimensionals, so it kind of pops from the others. So, taking the backing off of our dimensional, and my bottle is really bent. We're going to pretend it's not, like so. So see, a fun, festive little background with just some shading and a few stamped pieces, and you have this really cool, bubbly, colorful, bright, vibrant card. So, okay, so that's 5 techniques on how to use Versamark in 5 different ways. And there's just, if I could choose one ink pad that I needed, I would say it would be Versamark, because it's so versatile and you can use it in so many different ways. And it's just really fun to play with. the possibilities. I love the watermarks and making the shiny bottles and embossing with color. So I hope you learned something new. I hope you enjoyed these videos, and give me a thumbs up or a like, and follow me on my YouTube channel. And thank you again for taking this class. All right, bye.